Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia and I thought we could talk some Young Justice. Well, there is no other kingdom like the Kingdom of Atlantis on Earth 16. The world of Young Justice is a pretty amazing place, but probably nothing stands up against the 7 Kingdoms of Atlantis. An amazing collection of underwater cities and cultures. I thought we could take a couple minutes to talk about it a little bit and where each city is located, something revealed here during Season 4. Now, the kingdom itself is fairly interesting because it is a constitutional monarchy, with its ruler going by the title of Annex, serving as High King of all the cities of Atlantis. Now, currently, Poseidonus is the capital of the kingdom, which is also ruled by that High King. But each city in the collection does have their own leader. The government of Atlantis has attributes of both a federation and a confederation. Each of the 8 city-states retain a large amount of autonomy, possessing their own rulers, military forces, policies, and even as far as having armed conflicts with each other. But regardless, each of the individual city-states and their respective rulers are technically subordinate to the authority of the High King in Poseidonus. Now, Poseidonus, despite its position as the capital and the central seat of power of the Atlantean government, had some form of local governments within itself. And they even have their own general fund separate from the Atlantean territory. Now, within the government of Atlantis is an advisory cabinet for the High King. This includes the Minister of Diplomacy, the Minister of Justice, the Minister of Magic, the Minister of Science, and the Minister of Security. Now, to rule the entire kingdom, representatives of the 7 other city-states meet with the High King and his cabinet for an annual conference. This is known as the Conference of the Delegates, and this is where they try to find solutions to the problems that are impacting the city-states and the kingdom as a whole. Now, this is very political and is very reminiscent of what goes on within everybody's own government. They talk about things like wealth disparity, problems between various city-states that could lead to conflict, and even deal with larger concerns like climate change or pollution that are caused by the surface but are impacting the Atlantean food supply. Quite honestly, food sources have spurred many armed conflicts between the city-states themselves that is often on the table at these Council of Delegates. Now, as we said, there are 7 different cities of Atlantis, although they are all part of the overall kingdom. Let's head over to our map and figure out where each one of them is located. Now, the original location of Atlantis is in the South Atlantic, and this is where the Kingdom of Zebel resides. North of Zebel is the current capital of Atlantis, Poseidonus. This is where the High King currently sits, that's Mara right now, and where all the governmental action converges for the overall kingdom. Then there is Shairus, which is located in the North Atlantic. These are the 3 Atlantic kingdoms. Now when you move up into the Arctic Ocean, this is where the Atlantean city of Crastinus is located. Now, over in the Indian Ocean is the Atlantean city of Tritonus, along with Nanabe, which is located in the Southern Ocean. Now, this leaves us with the 2 key cities in the Pacific Ocean. That would be Lemuria and Neptunus, Lemuria being in the North Atlantic and Neptunus being in the South Atlantic. Now, these city-states do have some tension between each one of them, and it's not just location-based. There are many Atlanteans, like surface dwellers, that hold prejudice against other citizens, many of who they deem to be quote-unquote impure. This is often in the form of Atlanteans who do not entirely look like surface humans. Not all members of Atlantis look like human beings, and they have descended and evolved over the many years that they lived in the underwater kingdom. Now, unfortunately, just like on the surface world, many of these Atlantean purists have built movements based on anti-pure sentiment amongst the civilization and created lots of problems for Atlantis. This is very similar to what we saw on the Red Planet this season of Young Justice, and sadly, as we've seen throughout the show, this is not something any kingdom seems to be spared. Now, there are a wide variety of citizens located in Atlantis, and I think we might eventually do a breakdown of each one of the member states. I really would be curious if you guys would like to dig into the individual history of the Atlantean cities. Now, obviously, we're going to keep following Young Justice here. Atlantis is not only a big part of Young Justice, but the overall DC Comics mythos, and I think it's pretty important overall. Now, I did want to remind everybody to make sure you dig into those hashtags once again. Renew Young Justice Season 5, and Save Earth 16 are the hashtags we want to use. Make sure you deliver a positive message to Warner Bros. Animation and HBO Max, especially on this upcoming SDCC weekend. Now, obviously, we're going to keep covering Young Justice and dive into some more Atlantean stories, so if you like Young Justice, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. But until we know more, what do you guys think? Are you surprised some of the common problems of the surface world also exist in the advanced magical kingdom of Atlantis? And if you were going to live in any one of the city-states, which one would you pick? Tell me what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.